What is up, everyone? It's Bandit here, and okay, so as you may know, I made a Warframe review back in 2018 and I had some minor issues with it. First, it was too short. Second, too little info. And finally, it was low quality and bad in general. So, you can call this Warframe review revisited. By the time of writing this script, I have over 500 hours in the game. I'm not very proud of that, but I am doing something at least. Now, let us start with the gameplay and then we'll move on to the story. Okay, let's get the easy things out of the way, and then we can get into more detail. The gunplay is very solid, sometimes gets repetitive, like all things do. Melee combat sometimes is weird, but it's on very, very rare occasions. The movement is very good in this game. You can do practically anything from rolling to bullet jumping to sliding, etc. Now, let's get into more detail on the weapon and Warframe modifications, mods for short. There is a multitude of mods that can be collected by simply killing enemies or opening resource caches that are scattered all over the maps. There are different rarities of mods: common, uncommon, rare, and legendary. Also different types of mods: Exilus mods, like Rush, for example, stance mods, like Crimson Dervish, aura mods, like Corrosive Projection, defensive mods, like Vitality, Redirection, or Vigor, offensive mods, or different power modifiers, like Narrow-Minded or Overextended. Legendary mods can be bought off Barrow Key Tier, the Void Trader, for ducats and credits. You can get ducats from the Ducat Kiosk on any relay, excluding Maru's Bazaar, which is just a place for trading or getting endo, which is used to upgrade mods. I will move on to that once we are done with the mod polarities. The mods you can buy off Barrow are legendary primed versions. Let's get the most popular mod for this example: Primed Continuity. Now, the polarities. Madurai, a V symbol. It is used by offensive mods such as power enhancers. Vizarin, a D symbol, used by defensive mods. Naramon, a dash or a bar, used by utility mods such as Flow. Zenurik, a scratch, used by Warframe augments, which are special modifiers for the abilities of a Warframe, such as Chromatic Blade for Excalibur. Unairu, an R symbol, used by some specific melee stance mods. Penjaga, a Y symbol, used for companion abilities. And Umbra, a U symbol, anti-sentient mods. I'll get to the sentience in the story portion of this video. Now, on to mod upgrades. Mod upgrades are made using Endo, a resource you get from Ayatan treasures, sculptures, and stars. You can change the Ayatan treasures to Endo at Maru's Bazaar on Mars. So, mod upgrading uses up Endo and credits. Upgrading mods depends on how many dots are there on the bottom part of the mod. The maximum amount of these dots is 10. The least is 3. There are flawed and regular mods. Flawed mods feature less dots than regular mods, and they are only starter mods. You'll get regular mods after leaving Earth. Mods with 10 dots to fill use up the most Endo, which is I believe over 30,000 Endo. They use up a lot of credits as well, but you can get credits back easier than Endo. Endo can be gotten either through Maru or through missions. Primed mods are the very rare and hard to get versions of regular mods which have 10 dots to fill, making them very, very profitable and wanted across the board. Barrow sells them every 10 days, which is a bit of time in between trades with them, that you can spend collecting up relics and prime parts to change into ducats and getting a lot of credits in the index. There are also corrupted mods like Overextended, which will enhance one of your abilities, like efficiency, but drops the range, and other types of mix-ups. These mods can be acquired by opening Orcan vaults on the Derelict. So, moving on from regular mods and such, we are going to move on to Rivens. Rivens are randomly generated mods that can range from borderline to unusable to fucking overpowered god tier mods. They are by far the most broken mods, and getting them is no easy task. You have to have sorties unlocked, most of the maps on the solar map unlocked, and well, you gotta have a lot of courage to go and do sorties alone. But Rivens are one of the many rewards you can get from sorties, and before you can upgrade / roll the Riven, you gotta first do a task to unlock it, such as doing a defense mission without the defense taking any damage, and many others. They are also set to melee, secondary, and main weapon mods. The weapon assigned to the Riven is also randomly generated, so that Rubico Riven you wanted for so long without spending a penny on can be a 1 in a million chance of getting it. So it is better to buy one than to pray to the RNG gods to the mod you want. Moving on from the mods, let's get to the types of missions and how much planets you have to explore in the solar system. There are 19 planets in total, without counting the dojo. That includes our corrupted, regrown Earth. 2 of these planets you get after completing some sort of main storyline quest, which I will talk about when we get into the story of the game. There's 13 types of missions. Extermination, which is basically kill everything you see. Excavation, use excavators to mine precious minerals while defending them from enemies approaching from all sides. And also, I forgot to add this into the script, so I'm just adding this right now. You have to collect power cells for the excavators to help them run. Sabotage, destroy the reactor and get back to your ship. Spy, go and sneak and steal all their precious lolicon art. Defense, defend an object or a person and defeat waves of enemies. Mobile defense, defend an object or for 1.5 minutes while swarms of enemies circle you and try to destroy the terminal, and when you're done, move on to the next terminal. Interception, capture radio towers and get the new season of Naruto earlier than the enemy does. Capture, look around and capture the local pedophile, then scram. Rescue, help your fellow weeb escape from a max security prison. Invasion, help either the Corpus or Grenier to get some cool loot and some fucking crazy mofos after you if you betray the side you were on before. Free roam, it's only on open world areas such as Orbalis and the Plains of Eidolon. Assassination, kill the boss and run. Survival, keep the oxygen in check and kill the baddies, and every 5 minutes you get some cool loot. Arcwing, regular missions, but they include Arcwing, which is just flying in space or underwater. These are the types of missions you will be facing throughout your life in the game. Let's move on to a kind of integral part of Warframe, which are the syndicates. There are 11 syndicates: Cephalon Samaris, Tsundere Smarty Pants, Parent Sequence, Profit is important, but not too much. Still Meridian, we are defective. Red Veil, New Loka, Space Nazis. Cephalon Suda, Curious Cube. Arbiters of Hexus, Honor above all else. Ostrons, Basic Villagers, mate. Quills, Time Space Continuum breaking dudes. Solaris United, Defective Corpus units and workers. Vent Kits, Skateboards are so relevant, yo. Little Duck, I let you kill the Profit Taker. It's literally all she does. Some syndicates have specific weapons and specific mods to get further standing. Some mods are cool, while others, well... Besides, all of this that I have mentioned is leveling up your account. Those levels are called mastery ranks. And well, they work in the way that every weapon in Warframe that levels up gives you mastery XP. As far as you can go right now is up to mastery rank 26. Now, let's move on to the story portion of the video. So, the story is very, very complicated and long, so I'll try to make it as compact and comprehensive as possible. I'll only introduce you to the main storyline. I will also tell you what I remember from memory, so sorry to all the vets that perfectly remember the quests. I might get some things wrong. If you want the TLDR version, go to the timestamp in the description, or if you don't want to scroll down, I will show it on screen. Also, if you want to skip the story because you don't want it spoiled for you, you go down there to the description or look at this timestamp right here to skip the story part completely and move on to my overall opinion. First quest, Vor's Prize. This quest begins with Lotus saying this.
For generations you've slept. No purpose, no call to wake you. But now, something has risen from the ruins of the old war. Beloved commander, Vor, on an urgent mission. To protect the twisted crusade they have begun. To transform the scattered colonies into an empire. To see that the Tenno, hidden and asleep, will never awaken. Wake up, Tenno.
I see the Lotus has tried to wake you. Pity she's too late. You're my prize now, Tenno. No. We are taking this one with us.
What has he done to you? I can't lose another Tenno. I am searching your Warframe's power systems.
After that, you wake up from cryo-sleep after picking the Warframe of your choosing. You fall to the ground, then Captain Vor walks up to you, puts on some kind of a device on you and tells his grunts to take you away. But the Lotus helps you out and you start using your powers. Then pick your weapons and such until you come to meet Vor for the first time in a very one-sided battle. You have to run away from him and then escape on your ship and finish the first part of the quest. Then you find many segments of your orbiter and finally confront Vor for the second and last time and beat him and negate the device for good, finishing the quest. Second quest, Once Awake. After bumbling around for hours, you find that you have a quest to do. At least that's what happened to me. I don't actually remember anything about this quest, so let's move on. Third quest, the Arkwing. This quest begins with Ordis telling you something about some old Orcan tech on Earth called Arkwing. And you can do multiple excavation missions. After you finish this quest, you will have an Arkwing called Odonata and get 2 weapons for that. Fourth quest, Stolen Dreams. In this quest, you meet Moru for the first time and help her out because the Grineer were hunting her down. Don't remember what happened in this quest in much detail. Sixth quest, The New Strange. You hunt down Chroma, receiving weird transmissions. In the end, you fight Chroma and get his blueprint after finishing the quest. Also, after finishing the quest, you will have access to more planets and the solar rails that connect these planets will have rewards such as Chroma Neurooptics, Chroma that, Chroma this. All parts of Chroma will be on those rails, solar rails, after finishing the quest. Seventh quest, Nata. In this quest, you learn who the Lotus is. Lotus is a sentient, or was. Eighth quest, The Second Dream. In that quest, you learn that you are not the amazing tin suit with powers straight from anime, but a weird child with psycho powers that shoots lasers out of their hands and heart, and learn the true threat of the sentients. Finishing this quest unlocks the moon, or Lua, as it's called in the game. Ninth quest, The War Within. You're getting more and more invested in what the Grineer are up to. It leads you to their queens. You learn that the Dax soldier, Teshin, was working with the queens all along. But in the end, he actually turns on them. Finishing this quest unlocks the Kuva fortress and gives you the Broken Scepter. 10th quest, Chains of Harrow. Some kid gets possessed by a space demon and wants to die, and his Warframe is an edgy priest. Also, this happens in the style of Red Veil. Eleventh quest, Apostasy Prologue. Nata leaves with the last Orcan alive, Ballas, and you have to save her. 12th quest, The Sacrifice. After Nata left, Ordis found a trace of a destroyed Warframe on Earth, in a secret place. It is Excalibur Umbra. After you craft him, he turns on you and goes rogue. You have to stop him and take control of him. This quest made me cry because Umbra has a very painful memory of killing his own son before his death. He was a Dax soldier, just like Teshin. But now, Umbra is an empty vessel with one burning memory embedded in his head. This quest grants you Umbra and Skiajati, the Warframe and the Blade. 13th quest, Chimera Prologue. This quest begins with the man in the wall, the space demon playing around with Nata's helmet. So you try to confront them and go to the same place as in the Apostasy Prologue. But then you go through the portal that Nata and Ballas went through, and you find yourself in a dark place as a Void Spectre. You teleport around to see Ballas, a shadow of his former self. He is a chimera of sentient and Orokin. He built a sword on some kind of a workbench. In the end, you touch the sword just as Ballas touches it as well. He was also talking about Nata and how she is a devil in disguise. The sword you get is an offering from Ballas. 14th quest, the new war. This quest hasn't come out yet, and I will make a video about this quest only, gameplay, first reactions and such. In short, the first half of the story is about you learning who you are for real, and the second one is about you getting ready for the attack of the Sentients. The Sentients are artificially created aliens by the Orokin to terraform planets. I said I will explain that in the story portion. Here we go. Now, time for my overall opinion. Well, like I said in my first Warframe review, this game is good. Also, there has been a new addition to the game recently, Nightwave missions. It's like Fortnite Battle Pass, but free and has better rewards. So, the gameplay is very solid. I give it 8 fraudbacks out of 10. The story is interesting and keeps the player invested. 9.5 fraudbacks out of 10. The enemy scaling is kind of retarded at levels above 80, so 4.5 fraudbacks out of 10. The Warframes are original, Heldren, and viable, except Forburn. 9 fraudbacks out of 10. Ribbons are shit, or OP. 3.5 fraudbacks out of 10. The tutorial is fine, 5 fraudbacks out of 10. The game has a tendency of scaring off new players because of the amount of things to do, which actually gives the game some more character. 8.9 fraudbacks out of 10. Fashion frame is the true endgame. Ten fraudbacks out of 10. So, concluding this video for good, the game overall will get a score of 9.4 fraudbacks out of 10. I hope you find my follow-up video to the review from 2018 to be more informative and much more clear. This was Bandit 74100, and peace.